Hi, beautiful people. This is Inspired with Seed and Zoe. And the topic that we are going to tackle today is gender based violence. Okay, yeah, the topic that we're going to speak about is gender based violence. So we saw it fit to actually talk about the topic because currently here in South Africa there's been killings of women, so since that is on the surface, we thought that we should just talk about it.
Yes, it is in our heart to venture this subject because we feel heavy in our hearts. I don't know, like we've been talking about this topic for about 2 weeks. It has been in our hearts, and we feel we'd like to say from the bottom of our hearts condolences to the families who are involved in those women who have been killed.
So for me, gender-based violence is a very, very big issue, especially in our community, in the world at large. It doesn't matter that now the stats, are talking about South Africa because now this thing is on media, in terms of South Africans, but all over it's actually happening. And for me, I think culture and traditions as well, it has an input why women are facing this oppression, why are women facing abuse. You'd find that our mothers were experiencing as well oppression, but they were not aware, because a lot of things women are aware of them because now things have changed. You are able now to go and work as a woman, be a woman that is in a corporate world. You are now a woman whereby when you are married, still you get to do those things. You get to take care of your kids while you are working, and that makes you a superwoman. But there are some men, while growing up and in their upbringing, they were told that a woman must not go to work. Those I'm just in jail. It's just the foundation for me before we get to the killing and the abuse and so forth. I just want to talk about oppression. That we find that culture and tradition, they oppress a woman quite a lot. They are in favor of men and not in favor of women.
So, baby, should we also include religion as well? Do you know why I'm asking that?
Yeah.
And because in the Bible also we refer to the woman as a weaker vessel, ne? And when we regard the woman as a weaker vessel, some men take that as an advantage, that a woman should be abused because they are regarded as a weaker vessel. So there's some sort of patriarchy all over the Bible whereby it feels like the man is on top of a woman always. Interestingly enough, I was watching a video by Miles Monroe, and Miles Monroe says we've been taught that the man is on top. The man is the head of the house. The man is on top, hence the behavior of treating the man as superior to a woman. But he says, actually that's not true. He says a man is the foundation of the house. So the man becomes the foundation of the house. So, for example, if you build a house on a man who is dysfunctional, the whole thing will fall.
It will fall.
Because he is the foundation of the house.
Yeah.
Take Adam, for example, and Eve. Adam comes first in the world.
Yeah.
He became the foundation of that family.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah, I understand.
It's not that because they regard a woman as a weaker vessel, that Eve was less important.
Yeah.
Yes. And I was thinking the other day, Yasne, we actually think that the woman is a weaker vessel physically. Interesting enough, if a man were to give birth to a kid, if let's say for example for some miracle we were to give birth, I think we'd die. I would die. I wouldn't come back.
You would die. You know why? Because men when they are sick, great example, and they're just having a mere headache, or they are just having flu.
Yeah.
You'll find them Sengathi bayafa, they are sad, their mood is on. But you find a woman is experiencing that, and we are doing chores at times. We are still able to take care of our kids. We're still able to do other things, you know. Yeah.
So I feel like in the Bible, nowadays everyone is looking for a loophole, something to blame, and some people might be misquoting the Bible, and some people are not practicing the Bible. God, we are fathers as men, and that we take that from God, who is our Father. That means our character as men should resemble God.
Christ,
God does not abuse women.
No, he doesn't.
Christ does not abuse us. So our job is to be exactly like him.
Okay. I just have a question.
Yeah.
And it's something that we were talking about. You know, when we were busy talking, you know, about this topic, talking about it intensely. So one of the questions we had, both of us, is that these men that are killing now, is it a thing whereby they have always been like that, or something had provoked them to kill?
Where does it start?
Yeah, where does it start?
Remember, we had a talk, my wife and I, that when a baby is born, whether it's a baby boy or girl, they are a blank canvas. They are blank. They don't know how to abuse a woman. They don't know how to kill a woman. But life teaches you habits. You know? Life teaches you habits. You know what? As much as we want, I remember somebody was saying, why are we talking about marriages in this women and this gender-based violence? Why are we talking? No, listen. In this thing, we have to go back to the roots. It doesn't just start You understand? But you have to go back to the roots. One of the roots in this thing is a person's upbringing.
That's true.
Was there a problem at home?
Yeah.
How did he view women? You understand? What is this person's character? Remember, character is also about how do you behave when you are cornered.
That's true. How do you behave when you are cornered?
If we have problems in marriage, if we have our problems,
and there's conflict.
Yes, and there's conflict. If my reflex to defending myself is this, that is my character, you know, and it is shaped by how I grew up.
Yeah, your upbringing.
My upbringing.
Yeah, so as we were talking about that, and also, you know, bringing up these things, I then told my husband that it is hard actually to unlearn some things. You know, especially when you do not know God. It is hard to unlearn some things, because in God, you have to unlearn something, and especially if you open your heart, because there are some Christian brothers who abuse sisters. There is some, you know, Christian fathers who abuse our mothers, and you'd find that as Christian as you are, you beating your wife, you ridicule your wife, you shame your wife, all these filthy things that are not supposed to be done to a woman. And I think it is because, you know, we don't open our hearts enough to God.
Yeah.
Because, you know, here in scripture, it says, put to death, therefore, whatever belongs to your earthly nature. Sexual immorality, impurity, lust, evil desires, and greed, which is idolatry. Because of these things, the wrath of God is coming. You know, because if you don't put to death, the wrath of God is coming. You used to walk in these ways in the life you once lived, but now you must also rid yourselves of all such things as this anger, rage, malice, slander, and filthy language from your lips.
Sure.
It explains itself. So if a person is not willing to get rid of themselves of anger,
yes,
and just open your heart and do an introspection, tell the Holy Spirit to help you where it began.
Yes.
Where did this thing start? For me to be restored, I have to go back to where it broke.
Yeah.
I remember, you know, one of my pastor once said that she actually said, for something to be restored in your life, you have to go back to where it broke. And where it broke, that's when the pieces will start getting back together. Yes, the scar won't go away permanently, but it won't control you.
Yes, I support you fully on that. You know why? I feel like the problem that we are facing today is a problem that has been brewing for a long time.
Yeah, it has. for quite
It's
a long
just that
time.
now this thing has become a monster and that is biting us. You know, when I was a kid, I remember I used to stay in a shack. Not so far away from my house, there used to be a tap. We used to collect water there.
Yeah.
At that place, there was this other guy who was beating this lady. He was just destroying this lady.
Yeah.
He was kicking her, you know. He was brutally beating the lady. Funny enough, everyone, there were people around the tap who were watching. Men were watching, women were watching, kids were watching. Others went inside their house and inside their little shacks, and they were peeping through the holes.
Yeah.
Which is ignorance. You understand?
Yeah.
We've been ignorant at this problem for a very long time.
Yeah, for a very long time.
You know,
It's true, yeah.
and the next day, nobody did, actually at that moment, nobody did anything. In fact, they were talking about it around that place when they were busy collecting water. You understand?
Yeah. You know, I think it's going to be hard for you to defend another woman, another random woman, while you hide some things in the family. You'll find that a lady, for instance, or a child has been raped by an uncle in the family, and Amantabadara will say, no, you don't have to shame this family, you must keep quiet about it, don't go to the police. So do you think, I feel like, I think this thing started at home. You defending someone who raped a victim in your family.
Yes.
How are you going to defend someone who is your neighbor if in your family they tell you to hide such things?
It's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard.
You see, it's going to be hard because in our minds already there's this thing that, okay, if my mom told me that I shouldn't go to the police and open a case towards my uncle, I'm growing up, I am broken, I am scarred, I already see this uncle, and it happens to another next woman, and then I'll begin to tell that woman, which by you going to the police, you are only calling towards yourself shame.
Yeah.
You are only applying to be laughed at. Because your mother, who you trust so much, or that aunt or that uncle, has told you that no, if you talk such things, people are going to react some kind of way towards your family. So we have also learned to be silent about such things. That's why we are unable as a community to take a stand and say, you know what, my child was raped by his uncle. My child was humiliated or whatsoever the abuse may be. So you can't say that you are a feminist, ne? Feminist. You cannot say that you are a feminist, but then you do not defend people even in your family who are abused.
Ish. Yeah, that's a mouthful. I come from the township, ne? And a lot of times you could hear the neighbor, a man, abusing the whole family on weekends because they were drunk.
Yeah.
You understand? So now, as a man next door who is a good man, what is your responsibility? What must you do?
Sure. That's hard.
Because sometimes a lot of men, we see all these things, but we're like, ish, if I go there, that guy is gonna just beat me with that lady.
How about as men, you learn to do movements?
Yeah.
Because you will find that men, I saw some status and I was angry. I even told my husband about it. And that guy wrote, well, a woman will be mentally healthy because they have gatherings, they have where they can detoxify. And I was like, if that's the case, if you see that, why don't you create one? Why don't you create a man movement whereby they will talk their issues, they will begin to express themselves, what's
Emotionally
eating,
detox.
emotionally detox, what's eating them, why are they always silent, bagodla izinto, carrying things. Even in the word, God doesn't want us to carry burdens. He wants us to cast them unto him, because he knows that if you carry some things with you, it's gonna come a time whereby you blow.
Yeah.
And uyosimangaza sonke. Uyosimangaza ubona umuntu like udubula abantwana bakhe, udubula umfazi wakhe, and we are like, but ubaba lona man was always going to church and being right. He was even given podiums whereby he preaches the word of God. What went wrong?
Yes.
What went wrong? So I feel like men in communities must start movements and be like, if at that house, because you are not the only one at that time who's hearing that wife screaming, that chick or whatever, that lady screaming next door. So do a signal, do something, and then as men, you all come out. You all come out, not to beat the man, but to go and send out a message to that man, Uchindota. Men do not do what you're doing. Do you think he will kill all of you, man baning?
No. Actually, someone said that we need, at this moment, the voices of men should be louder than the voices of women. You understand?
Yeah.
If the voices of men is louder than the voices of women, there will be a significant difference. Because as a man, I'll be speaking at a position of power and authority.
Yeah.
Telling another man to stop what you're doing.
Yeah.
So I'd like to support again what you were saying, unlearning filthy habits.
Yeah, unlearning.
So I feel like as men, we should come to a point whereby we just get off our high horse, leave pride alone, because there are some movements that helps men emotionally.
Yeah, there are.
There are some movements, but because of pride, because of ego, we don't go to such things. We choose not to be like, not to go to such things, because we believe that who's this other man to tell me how to feel?
Sure.
I can't go there. Do you understand? So such issues need to be brought to the surface. And if you are a man and you say you love your family, I feel like it is vital for you to have somebody to talk to have a group whereby you talk to.
I'm reminded of Miles Monroe, and he said, men actually are the ones who should be more in the presence of God. You find your wife, you are in the presence of God, because you are going to lead this woman to a particular place. Which voice are you listening to? Which voice directs you? Which voice influences you for you to lead that family? If it is your friends, they tell you, you will be controlled by that voice, and when it's time for you to lead your spouse, you will lead him according to the voice that you listen to, that you adhere to. I'd like to say to Christian men, for you not to abuse your woman, for you not to actually tell them hurtful words, because abuse comes in many forms. Does not mean that when you just beat me up, that's abuse. Abuse can be you abusing me emotionally, telling me how ugly I am, making sure that you want to suppress me, oppress me, so that I don't have self-confidence in myself, because you are intimidated by a powerful woman.
Yeah.
So what I can say to Christian men is that for other men to see an example through you, you must actually seek God more than anything. Be able to unlearn those bad habits. Unlearning habits is easier when you allow God to actually touch those places that have been wounded by your past. But when you don't go to God and say, Lord, here I am, here's my heart, I'm hurting here and there. My parents did not bring me up the way other parents are bringing up other families. I always desire to have this and that. I did not have this, but you, Lord, you saw it all. But I need you in my life as a man to be a better man to my family. I need you. I need you to walk with me. I need the Holy Spirit to teach me what is it to be a man of integrity. I need a Holy Spirit to teach me what is it to be a man who is loyal and faithful to his wife.
Yes. I wanted to say Miles Monroe said something beautiful. He says, where purpose is not understood, abuse is inevitable. So a lot of men, we start abusing women because we don't understand our purpose.
Sure.
We start feeling intimidated by a woman's success.
Yeah.
If a woman starts making more money or something like that, sometimes, not all the time.
Yeah, if they are beautiful,
But
more beautiful.
yes, you know, if you feel like if another man is hitting on her, she's gonna leave, so you become jealous and start abusing her. You know, so there is a lot that we need to fix as men in general. That is why we must make sure that we seek God and the voice of God in our mind become greater than anything else.
Yeah,
you know,
becomes the voice.
Yes,
Yeah.
and it also apply in Christianity, because sometimes we think like the people who abuse women, the people who are not saved, you know, as you said, it happens even if somebody is abused emotionally.
Yeah.
You know, we are still going to talk about a topic called words hurt.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes we hurt women with our words. That is abuse. You know, I want to ask you something, baby. I personally feel like the safety of women now does not rely on one thing, on one system. For example, everything needs to come together. For example, family, the way the upbringing of young kids, of young men, the father himself needs to be stable. For example, a good marriage results to great kids, results to a better kids, a better family, which results into a better community and a better country.
That's true.
And a better world.
Yeah.
You know, that is why you have to nurture your marriage. You know,
you do.
so there are so many elements that must take play in this topic.
Yeah.
But now, the justice system. Let's talk about the justice system.
Yeah.
How do you feel that the justice system, about the justice system, does it support women? Because the reason why I'm saying that is there are a lot of women who've been abused by men, but they don't even go to the police because they feel like they will still be victimized in police stations.
Yeah. You know, about what you're talking about, Nick, I had a discussion with my friend, and she said she feels like the justice system, for the reason why it is like this, you know, especially you find when you are going to the police station as a woman, you find a man there. And that very same man who's a police is not taking good care of his family.
Ish.
He is abusive himself, whether emotionally or in any. Do you think that man will really take your statement seriously while he's doing these very same things that you are reporting to their wives?
Yeah, that is very hard.
You see?
Yeah. You know what? I was reading about solutions to this thing, and somebody stated something. He was like, why is it that threatening a woman that I'm gonna kill you is not a crime? A lot of women are threatened.
Yeah.
Like ngizokubulala, I'm gonna kill you. One day ngizokubulala, ngizokshaya. Why can't that be taken seriously as a woman, for you to go to the police station to say, I saw a sign in this man that he was going to be abusive before he even started abusing? Because it is dangerous for us to say, let's wait for him to abuse you first. Then you come with evidence and said, yeah, look at it, why? Because sometimes you can't even provide that evidence, because at that time a woman is in a body bag, is being killed.
I think there is a law whereby you go to the police for protection order, and that person continues to still come and threatens your life, because someone, when they threaten you, you are able to go to the police and you tell them, oh, this person is always telling me that he will kill me, he's always threatening my life, things like that, or my kids, so I need protection order, and then they make one for you. But then these people, they do not give up to a point whereby he's like, he will hunt you down and tell you that, yeah, the police, I'm friends with the police, there's nothing that you will do to me, that's just a paper.
Unfortunately, a paper cannot save your life. It cannot protect you against somebody who's going to attack you physically. Because you know what? There were some days when I was thinking of buying you a gun. Yeah, there were some days I was thinking, like, yeah, you know what? The funny thing is, as a woman, ne, you think you would feel that you are alone as a woman. Women are being killed. But let me tell you something. As a married man who loves my wife and who has sisters and and I am in constant fear as well. I don't know what will happen to you when I'm away from you. I want you to feel like me, like I can take off my shirt and go buy bread at a shop, feeling safe, not even thinking that there's another man who's going to attack me. I can do that easily. I want you to have the same feeling. You understand?
Yeah.
I want you to have the same feeling. A feeling where a woman can just jog in the morning, without thinking that there is a man who's going to attack me. There is a car that's going to pull up and they're going to, throw me in the boot and go to kill me.
And as you're talking of, protecting ourselves, things like that, another solution that we also have to come up with, we have boy children already. We have, when you have a boy child, just make sure that they are not different from a girl child.
Yes.
Just make sure, especially in terms of discipline, because you'll find there's discipline more towards a girl child, being told, "Ungahambi ebusuku." Such small things, but a boy child can go ahambi ebusuku. Why must you be lenient on a boy child and your discipline is stronger on a girl? Meaning that you are teaching morals to a girl and not teaching morals to a boy child. And a boy child, in fact, mabakula, they play a bigger role because they are leaders. They become leaders of their homes.
You know what? Funny thing is, the seeds of today are the fruits of tomorrow. The seeds of today.
Yeah.
We raise our children, our boy children, around violence, and we don't even notice as parents the way we are so ignorant. Sometimes you would buy your child a Spider-Man costume. Have you watched Spider-Man? Do you know what happens to Spider-Man? Do you know why a kid loves Spider-Man? Do you know why a boy child loves Batman?
Wrestling.
It is wrestling. A simple thing. Spider-Man, Batman. You see how simple that is? It is not because of the talking and walking. It is because of the kicking and shooting and fighting. If Spider-Man would remove all those elements of violence, do you think your kids would watch it?
You wouldn't watch it.
It's things that are under our nose. But the thing is, with girls, you are raising her with our body. I'm a body girl.
Take care of this.
You're
taking care of the child
Yeah.
while you are still a child.
Training her for marriage.
Yeah, training her for marriage, and you're not aware that actually you are training them for marriage, because you're buying her this doll. She will take care of the doll. Buying her amakomichi, those little toys whereby they are homely plates, carbs, things like that, and she even wants to wash the dishes, do things, while a boy child
is busy watching
something
wrestling.
else.
Is busy watching what you call Ben 10. Violence, but and you think, no, these are just cartoons.
But they are shaping something in their minds. Yeah.
Sure.
Wow. Wow. So unlearning the habits is difficult when you don't have God. So meaning, us as Christians, we have a big job. That's why we have to do soul winning. That's why we have to really we do not need to be afraid of telling people about God. Because with God, you will unlearn some things that you once did and you thought they are normal in your eyes. They are normal to you. And then when God comes and he would say, "No, my child, this is not normal." But this is normal. Through his word, he gives us instructions to love. Through his word, he gives us instructions to have peace, to live with people who have peace, and to be peacemakers ourselves. Through his word, we learn so many things, man, that show us that God is not about abuse. And we have to unlearn abuse. We have to unlearn things that causes us to abuse our spouse, even women, they abuse men. Things like that, and for them it's even hard, so much hard, because people think that already they are a man, it's taboo for a man to be abused, or for them to say, I am abused by another woman. Because when we think of a man, we think of their masculinity, for them to be able to defend themselves, things like that. They are stronger than us body wise, things like that.
Yes.
But then we find even in our community, men are being abused. So for people to be human enough, they need God, they need their creator.
Yes. Sure, that's a mouthful. That's a mouthful. Mina, I'm done.
Yeah.
So thank you so much, guys, for joining us. And there is still a lot that we have not discussed. This needs us to stop being ignorant. Read about gender-based violence.
That's true.
Be learned in this topic. Just do your research. And stop being ignorant. Remember on our previous show, we were talking about don't ignore the signs. Ladies, love yourself enough to say when you see something that may lead you to harm, report it, fight for it, and don't shove it under the carpet and say no, it's gonna be fine.
I will fix it.
I will fix it. Under a situation whereby you are being violated, whether in marriage or whether you are
in a
relationship, whether you are a kid, make sure that you put yourself first. You love yourself enough not to become a second grade citizen.
Sure. Yeah, you must know yourself. Know that you can only be defined by God, but not by a circumstance whereby you are happy. Because there are women actually who allow that, and who have made it their tradition or their norm, that it's fine. I mean, that person doesn't know what's precious
Yes.
that person doesn't know how important she is as a human being. She is not something that should be beaten.
Yes.
So yeah.
Oh, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate you.
And thank you for those subscribers,
Yo!
the comments, the likes, Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Please do explore this topic. Thank you so much. Till next time.